Hey guys, today's review is on the IT Cosmetics Naturally Pretty Matte Luxe Transforming Eyeshadow Palette. And I did include this in my video on my top palettes and gift sets, so if you've seen that on my other channel, you kind of have an idea of how I feel about this palette. I really like it. And it does come with a brush. In this video, we'll look at swatches of all these shades, and I will take you through like a really quick demo just so you can see how they apply. But the palette is really pretty. It's actually very plush and soft. And then on the inside, very shiny. There's your mirror up top. You've got 14 eyeshadows, and then you've got something called Transforming Pearl. And the thought with this palette is that all these little shades are matte here, but you can take the Transforming Pearl and mix it with any of those or apply it on top of any of those, and you will end up with a shimmery or pearly finish instead. Just as is, these matte colors, they really don't have a super dry matte finish. It's almost like they are 95% matte with like 5% of a satin finish thrown into them. I still feel like they come off with a totally matte appearance on the eyes, but I think that just little something extra that they have makes them look so natural and not dry and not cakey looking on the eyes. Especially if you've got aging eyes. I know I've talked with my mom about this, and shimmery shades, you know, really metallic shades don't necessarily do your eyes any favors. But sometimes the really matte shades can just look chalky and not too fresh on your eyes either. They're very smooth, they're very easy to blend. That's one thing that I really want to make clear with this palette, is if you or someone you're giving this to is maybe not really comfortable with blending eyeshadows, or you feel like, you know, the layering of shadows kind of intimidates you a little bit, I would really suggest trying this palette because it makes it very easy. It's so quick to make these shades look seamless one to the next. You've got some really great ways to make a very warm look, like almost a bronzy golden type look, a plum look, navies, deeper purples, a black in there. And I just love that if you need to blend out your look, any of these shades right here in this zone, I think are beautiful transition colors. And just by looking at the swatches, I think you can tell how rich and pigmented the texture is. So I know I like all of these matte shadows, but when you throw in the Transforming Pearl, I don't feel like that really does an amazing job on top of these eyeshadows. I am happy enough with these eyeshadows to where I don't really care to use this except maybe just on its own in a couple key areas. When you look at the swatches and I put the Transforming Pearl on top of each one, it reminds me of those, you know, like sheer curtains. It's like you just put a sheer curtain over all these shades. I don't feel like their color pops quite as much. It softens them a little bit. It does not make any of them metallic. It's just a little bit pearly. It's not super shiny. So for this look, I first took Sheer Joy and I put that on the innermost part of my lid. And then I took a small flat brush with Midnight, the blue, and I went all over the rest of my lid. I also packed it into my crease a bit and then just blended that out. Next, here's what I'm talking about with getting a really beautiful but very easy blend with one of these transition colors. I took the shade called All Heart, which is kind of like a soft, dusty lilac, and I just dusted that right over the border of that blue. I blended the border of that out with a bare brush, and then I used Sheer Joy as my highlight. I also went under my lower lash line with Midnight. And then just to show you a way I kind of like to use the Transforming Pearl, I took a small brush with that, and I just used it to brighten up my lid a little bit, kind of on top of where I already had the Sheer Joy shade. The brush that comes with it is double-ended. IT Cosmetics has some really nice brushes. They're very soft. Fuller side is definitely fuller than my Sigma E25, which I reach for a lot, so it can still be good for blending and everything. It just doesn't give me quite as precise of an application as I would want. This smaller end, I don't feel like it's really as densely packed with bristles as it could be. Like when I sort of pull the bristles to one side, you're really seeing a gap there. So this can be good for smudgy liner. It's not unusable, it's just not my favorite. But I just love the looks that I've created with this palette. I've never really been unhappy with it. I haven't gotten to the point where I've used it and thought, ooh, that just didn't turn out looking good. I would highly recommend it if you're in the market for some matte basic eyeshadows, but still some really interesting shades that don't look cakey and dry but just look beautiful on the eyes. So thank you so much for watching this review, and I'll see you again soon. Bye.